I know that you are a frequent presenter in the region at IT service management conferences. Could you share your experience about IT service management in the region?
Service management is growing as an industry. Many people are using ITIL principles and concepts to improve the quality of service they deliver to their customers, focusing very much on service rather than product, if you like, measuring the quality of service they deliver and then using continual service improvement and the processes that support continual service improvement to improve the value proposition they deliver to their organisations and their business.
And how would you compare the maturity of service management in the UK and in Central Europe region?
Generally, probably in the UK there is greater capability and maturity within the IT service providers to deliver service. The service management processes are probably more mature because we've been using service management for maybe 20 years in the UK, whereas I think it's probably only the last 10 years that it's been developing within the Central European region, I think.
And which part of ITIL would you recommend for companies to have a better performance in this crisis, economic crisis times?
That's a big question. I think probably what you've got to do is, if you're starting off on ITIL and looking at ITIL, is to focus on the business and the customers that you serve and what their requirements are. You need to look at the critical business processes, the important customers, and see which services they use and how you can improve the quality of the services and which processes would enable you to deliver a better quality service. There is no, this is the one process that you need to do. For some organisations it could be change management, for some organisations it could be problem management, for others it could be availability. It all depends on where the organisation is in delivering service.
If we talk about local or central government, what's your experience about UK and Hungarian service management?
I think in the UK right now there are two drivers, if you like, in the UK in terms of central and local government. Reduced costs is obviously the big one, to drive down costs, and certainly service management will help you to identify where your costs are and how you can manage them effectively. And the other is to improve the quality of services delivered to the general public. You know, how you deliver those services, both face to face, over the phone, through the web, and trying to drive improvements in the breadth and quality of service that you deliver to, you know, the general people.
I think we are IT service management people. We know the advantages of ITIL, but what's your experience? How can we sell it to government or politicians that this is the thing that they could help them?
I think the way we can do it is by looking at case studies of organisations that have delivered very successfully and the benefits and the savings that they have made from service management. And those case studies are now available that tell you, with huge companies, the benefits that they've driven from service management, the gains they made in both the quality of service and in the reduction of costs. So I think that information is there, and that's the message we have to put together to government, senior ministers and government, to drive that process forward. In fact, in some European countries, they are now making government money available for any projects related to ISO 20000, which is the standard for service management. That's helping drive the service management within those countries.
Coming back to itSMF chapters, how do you see the cooperation in Europe, the itSMF chapter members?
There's lots of cooperation in Europe. I think that's pretty good. We exchange speakers, we run joint conferences in places, and I think the interworking between European chapters is good. It can always be better. For instance, the working between the Scandinavian and Baltic chapters is very close. There's a lot of working between those as a group, and they work very, very well together. There's a lot of synergy there. Probably we need to learn from that and do more of that across the whole of Europe, I think, work more closely together. There's a lot of opportunities, I think.
If you have an advice for the Hungarian business leaders, what would you be?
The biggest advice I can say to Hungarian CIOs is focus on what are the critical business processes within your organisation, identify the key customers, both internal and external customers, and then identify the services that are most valuable in providing those critical business processes and delivering value to your major customers. That's what you have to focus on, because that's where you can increase value significantly.